Months have passed, years have passed, and you're still not able to pray because you're still not able to focus. When you see the amount of hours that are adding up, like, it should scare you. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Guys, I'm just gonna go straight into today's video because we need to talk about this, which is social media is slowly making us spiritually numb. Now, if you don't think that you can relate, then maybe this video isn't for you. But if you've ever asked yourself any of these questions, then you need to keep watching. The reality is that our brain has gotten used to being on all the time. Constant scrolling trains our minds to crave quick content, noise, and fills our brain with dopamine, which is the feel-good chemical. So your brain has become wired to crave instant gratification, which makes still, quiet moments, slow moments like reading your Bible and praying seem boring. Silence with God feels unrewarding because it's not stimulating enough. So yes, people have become spiritually numb because they are constantly bombarded with opinions, entertainment, and hardly spend time with God in prayer. There's literally little room to hear God's voice. You're connected to everyone except from God. The question we should be asking ourselves is, why has this happened, and does it really matter? The answer is yes, it does matter. As much as it might feel like it's not really a big deal, if you are the kind of person that actually wants to grow in your walk with God, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know how much your phone and social media has become a massive distraction. Satan's strategy is to make you feel like you have abundant time all the time in the world. At the same time, he is secretly stealing your time. Just 3 hours a day on our phones is 90 hours in a month. And you know that you're probably hitting more than 3 hours a day on your phone. You're constantly feeling unmotivated, inconsistent, and too busy to pray or pursue your purpose, when in reality, your time has been eaten up by all the distractions. This is why spending 10 hours lying in bed scrolling feels effortless, but just 5 minutes in prayer feels like a burden, it feels like a chore. It's more spiritual than we think. So social media is making you spiritually numb, just bombarding your mind with all these things from other people's lives, and you're not taking intentional time to be in God's presence, to be still. It's not helping you spiritually. Like, that's the reality. This is the reason why you struggle to spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes in prayer, because your brain isn't getting that dopamine hit that it is used to. Our brains are being discipled, but just not by God or His word, and this is what we need to do to reverse it. So my very first tip for you is to learn again how to put God first in your life. Set aside first thing in the morning when you wake up, intentional, undistracted time to spend with God. Literally, put your phone away. Don't go on your phone first thing in the morning, at least 20 to 30 minutes. It makes a huge difference to how the rest of your day will go. If you're picking up your phone first thing in the morning to check your emails, check social media, and you haven't spoken to God, you haven't gone in your word, then that means that your phone has become an idol. But when you learn to have slow mornings with God, you will be training your spirit again to learn to slow down and focusing and just enjoying God's presence, literally without distraction. This will reset your appetite if you do this for long enough, till it becomes a habit and just your normal way of living. Begin to reverse this process and actually be intentional. You will find that spending time with God actually is rewarding, actually is fulfilling, actually is beautiful. You will begin to enjoy it, experiencing that joy in His presence, and knowing that it is so worth it being in Jesus' presence, and He's speaking to you, you're speaking to Him, you're learning, you're growing. But it takes you sacrificing these things that are so appealing to the flesh. It takes you sacrificing that extra hour. The next thing that I would recommend is actually doing a dopamine fasting. I've personally tried doing this. I did vlog the process. I haven't posted that video yet, but it was actually very, very transformational. I decided to go without social media for 30 days and I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. Now, you don't have to be on the extreme end. You don't have to wait till you're at 10 hours a day on social media till you realize that you still probably need a dopamine fast. If you're going 6 hours literally straight on Instagram and TikTok alone, that is still a problem. So you just have to know, where do I need to set boundaries in my life with social media, assessing to see how much time is actually being stolen, been eaten from your day by you being on social media, and how much you could have invested that time into being productive, either in your work, your career, your business, and then even also in your spiritual life as well. This takes a lot of intentionality, a lot of discipline, but it is possible, because again, it's retraining your spirit to not have such a big appetite for social media, big to the point where you can't spend time praying but you would rather scroll. If that means you having time was on social media, I would again personally recommend that you have perhaps an hour timer limit on Instagram that would literally remind you that it's time to get off now. So I'm not saying cut off social media completely, I'm just saying use it with discretion and with a bit of self-control, because we can get carried away if we are not being careful. The next and final tip is to fill the void. Don't just remove the distractions, but actually replace them with something edifying, something enjoyable, a new hobby. Find a new hobby to do than just mindlessly scrolling away on social media as a way of escape. Perhaps it's time to learn to read a physical book again. Perhaps it's time for you to get back into journaling, prayer walking, cooking, gardening, or even crocheting. Just replace it with something fulfilling. It might take a little bit of time for your brain to get used to being bored again. Like I said, because of all that dopamine, you will find doing slow things very boring. We need to become okay with being bored again. This will help us to find joy in the simple things that are either edifying or just plain old enjoyable, or just helping you to grow as a person, rather than using all your free time on social media. When you see the amount of hours that are adding up, it should scare you. Now, these tips look really simple, however, they're not the easiest to implement. Like, I would suggest that you pray about this, ask God to give you the grace to be more disciplined with your time on social media, so that your appetite for the things of God would increase again. It's something that you have to take responsibility for. No one is gonna come be praying for you every single day. You have to build that relationship with God, and if you see that your phone has become an idol, then it's time to cut it off. I'm not saying throw your phone away now, but I'm just saying use some boundaries. We gotta be willing to pay the price in order to grow with the Lord. So you might think it doesn't matter, you might feel like it's not making a difference, but you look back, months have passed, years have passed, and you're still not able to pray, because you're still not able to focus, you're still not able to know how to be still in the place of prayer, because your brain is just so used to being stimulated all the time that your flesh finds it hard to stay still. We cannot always expect instant gratification, even in spiritual things. Spiritual things require patience. It requires you sowing seeds even when you don't see the fruit immediately. It requires you still watering the garden even when the flowers haven't come out yet. It requires you trusting in the Lord, that when He said, draw near to me and I'll draw near to you. That is real. But our phones have literally created a barrier. It's created a wall between us and God. It's time to break that addiction. So you have to do whatever you need to do to break it. So yeah, those are my tips. Let me know your thoughts, experiences down in the comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.